The invoice showed $47,000 for landscaping work that never happened on my street. I'm Jared Brooks, 34, a logistics officer for a freight company in Kansas City. I've lived in River Plaza community in Westridge, Missouri for 3 years. The subdivision sits on 42 acres with 87 homes. Standard HOA setup. Monthly dues. Quarterly assessments. Annual budget meetings. The paperwork arrived on a Tuesday. Certified mail from Westridge Municipal Services. Property Assessment Adjustment Notice. My lot showed recent landscape improvements valued at $12,000. Professional grade irrigation system. Decorative stone borders. Native plant installation. I walked my property line that evening. Measured the perimeter with my surveyor's wheel. 240 feet of frontage. 180 feet depth. Standard half-acre suburban lot. The grass looked the same as always. No irrigation heads. No stonework. No new plantings. The invoice listed specific materials. Hunter PGP rotors. Rainbird control valves. Missouri limestone aggregate. Red oak saplings. Liriope muscari ground cover. Professional installation by Greenscape Solutions, LLC. Work completed between March 15th and April 2nd. I was home every day during that period. Remote work arrangement. My office window faces the front yard. I would have noticed contractors, heavy equipment, delivery trucks. The HOA financial statement arrived 3 days later. Landscape enhancement project. Total expenditure $47,000. Funded through Special Assessment Reserve. Work performed on Maple Ridge Drive. That's my street. Only 12 houses. I called Greenscape Solutions. The receptionist confirmed the contract. River Plaza HOA. Maple Ridge Drive improvements. Invoice paid in full. She offered to email the work completion photos. The photos showed my neighbor's yard. Riker Bryant's property at 1247 Maple Ridge, 2 lots down from mine. Professional irrigation installation. Stone borders along his driveway. Native plantings throughout his front landscape. The timestamp showed March 28th, 2:15 p.m. I checked my security camera footage. March 28th. Clear view of Riker's property. No contractors, no equipment, no work activity. Just Riker mowing his existing lawn. The HOA board meeting minutes listed the project approval. Motion carried unanimously. Landscape enhancement for community property values. Work to begin immediately on designated lots. Project oversight assigned to community grass inspector. Our grass inspector was Stella Bryant. Riker's wife. I printed everything. Invoice copies. Bank statements. Photo. Security footage screenshots. The paper trail formed a clear pattern. Money approved for community landscaping. Work performed on private property. Documentation showing false completion. The special assessment had increased everyone's monthly dues by $43. 87 homeowners paying for improvements to one family's yard. The math was simple. The deception was elegant. I needed to understand how deep this went. The HOA records went back 18 months. I requested copies through the Missouri Sunshine Law. Public documents, board meeting minutes, financial statements, vendor contracts. The clerk at Westridge City Hall handed me 3 boxes of paperwork. I spread everything across my dining room table. Created a timeline. Cross-referenced payments with project descriptions. The pattern emerged within hours. September 2022. Drainage Improvement Project. $15,000. Work location listed as Common Area Storm Management. The invoice from Reliable Excavation showed work performed at 1251 Maple Ridge Drive. That address belonged to Riker and Stella Bryant. November 2022. Tree removal and replacement. $22,000. Community Safety Initiative. Dead oak removal from high-traffic areas. The arborist's completion report documented work at the Bryant residence. 6 mature trees removed. Landscape redesign included. January 2023. Sidewalk repair and enhancement. $18,000. ADA compliance upgrades for pedestrian safety. The concrete contractor's photos showed a new decorative walkway leading to the Bryant's front door. Every project followed the same structure. Board approval for community improvements. Stella Bryant assigned as project oversight. Work performed exclusively on her property. Documentation filed showing community benefit. The HOA bylaws required competitive bidding for projects exceeding $5,000. I found no bid solicitations, no vendor comparisons, no cost analysis reports, just approved contracts with predetermined companies. I researched the vendors. Greenscape Solutions, LLC. Registered business address matched a P.O. box in Kansas City. No physical location. No employee directory. No customer reviews. The business license showed incorporation date of February 2022. 1 month before the first fraudulent project. Reliable Excavation followed the same pattern. Shell Company. P.O. Box address. Recent incorporation. The registered agent was listed as S. Bryant. Stella had created the vendors herself. I called the Missouri Secretary of State Business Registration Office. Requested incorporation documents for both companies. The filing agent confirmed the details. Both businesses registered by Stella Bryant. Same residential address. 1247 Maple Ridge Drive. The bank routing numbers on the HOA payments led to accounts at Westridge Community Bank. I couldn't access account details without a subpoena, but the payment processing showed electronic transfers. No checks. No paper trail beyond the HOA records. I drove past the Bryant house every morning during my coffee run. The improvements were obvious now. Professional landscaping worth $60,000 minimum. Irrigation system with smart controllers. Decorative stonework. Mature plantings. Custom walkways. Their property value had increased substantially. The other homeowners had no idea. Monthly dues increased 3 times in 18 months. Special assessments for community improvements. Everyone complained about the costs. Nobody questioned the work locations. I needed proof of the bank accounts. Of the shell companies. Documentation showing Stella's direct involvement beyond project oversight. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. My neighbor Riker Bryant knocked on my door. Tuesday evening. 7:30 p.m. He looked nervous. "Jared, I need to talk to someone. About the HOA stuff." I invited him inside. Offered coffee. He declined. Stella's been acting strange lately. Secretive about HOA business. She used to discuss everything with me. Board meetings, project planning, community issues. Now she locks herself in the office. Takes calls in private. He paused. Looked around my living room. I found something in her desk. Bank statements. Accounts I didn't know about. Large deposits. Regular transfers. The amounts match our HOA payments exactly. Riker pulled out his phone. Showed me photos of bank statements. Greenscape Solutions business account. Deposits totaling $47,000. March 30th. Same date as the landscaping invoice payment. She's been stealing from the HOA. Using fake companies. Billing for work on our property. I confronted her yesterday. She admitted everything. The confession explained the timeline. Stella had started small. Testing the system. Single projects. Limited amounts. When nobody questioned the first few invoices, she escalated. Larger projects. more frequent billing, systematic theft disguised as community improvement. She said it started as borrowing, temporary cash flow issues. She planned to pay it back, but the amounts kept growing. The fake companies made it easier to hide. She couldn't stop. Riker handed me a flash drive. Bank records, vendor contracts, email correspondence, everything I could find. She doesn't know I copied it. I plugged the drive into my laptop. Hundreds of files, financial records spanning 2 years, email chains between Stella and the fake vendors, actually emails to herself using different addresses, project planning documents, cost estimates, payment schedules. The total theft exceeded $120,000. 12 separate projects, all billed as community improvements, all work performed on the Bryant property. The HOA had unknowingly funded a complete residential renovation. What happens now? Riker asked. I looked at the spread across my table. Bank statements, fraudulent contracts, email confessions, security footage. The case was airtight. Now we call the authorities. The County Securities Enforcement Watchdog Panel occupied the 3rd floor of the Westridge Municipal Building. Detective Drew Taylor from Economic Development met us in Conference Room B. Gray walls. Fluorescent lighting. Standard government furniture. I placed the boxes on the conference table. Bank statements, fraudulent contracts, security footage, email correspondence. 2 years of systematic theft documented in chronological order. Detective Taylor reviewed each document methodically, made notes on a yellow legal pad, asked specific questions about HOA procedures, payment authorization protocols, vendor verification requirements. The total amount exceeds felony threshold, he said. Grand theft, wire fraud, forgery, multiple charges possible. Riker sat across from me, hands folded, face pale. His wife faced serious criminal charges, prison time, financial ruin, community disgrace. She's cooperating fully, Riker said. Provided additional records, admitted everything in writing. Detective Taylor nodded, opened a manila folder, pulled out a signed confession, 3 pages. Stella's handwriting. Detailed admission of guilt. Timeline of fraudulent activities. List of fake vendor accounts. Mrs. Bryant confessed to creating 5 shell companies. Greenscape Solutions, Premier Landscaping Services, Westridge Property Management, Elite Grounds Maintenance, Community Enhancement LLC. Each company existed only on paper. Business licenses filed with the state. Bank accounts opened with minimal deposits. Professional-looking invoices created using standard templates. The deception required planning, coordination, sustained effort over 24 months. The HOA board approved payments based on her recommendations, Detective Taylor continued. She had signature authority, direct access to community funds, no oversight mechanisms in place. I pulled out my notebook, reviewed the timeline I'd constructed. March 2022. First fraudulent invoice. Greenscape Solutions, $7,000. Irrigation system upgrade. Work performed exclusively on Bryant property. The pattern escalated gradually, I said. Small amounts initially, larger projects as confidence grew. No board member questioned the expenses. Detective Taylor examined the security footage on my laptop. Time-stamped video showing landscaping crews working exclusively on the Bryant residence. No community areas touched. No shared spaces improved. This is compelling, he said. Clear documentation of fraudulent billing. Video proof of misrepresented work locations. Financial records showing personal benefit. The investigation expanded beyond our crew. Detective Taylor contacted the State Banking Commission. Requested records from all 5 shell companies. Subpoenaed credit card statements. Analyzed cash flow patterns. Additional victims emerged. 3 other HOA communities in Westridge County. Similar schemes. Fake landscaping companies. Fraudulent billing. Stella had targeted multiple neighborhoods simultaneously. Total theft across all communities exceeds $300,000, Detective Taylor reported. This is organized financial crime, not isolated incidents. The legal process moved quickly. Formal charges filed within 2 weeks. Grand theft in the first degree, wire fraud, money laundering, forgery. Each charge carried significant penalties, prison time, restitution requirements, permanent criminal record. Stella hired a defense attorney, negotiated a plea agreement, admitted guilt to all charges, agreed to full restitution, cooperated with ongoing investigations. The plea deal reduced her sentence but guaranteed conviction. The HOA board called an emergency meeting. Community center. Full attendance. Residents demanded answers, explanations, accountability measures. I presented them publicly. Bank statements projected on the wall. Security footage played for all residents. Timeline of fraudulent activities explained in detail. Mrs. Bryant stole $120,000 from our community, I announced. Money intended for shared improvements, diverted to personal property enhancement. The room erupted. Angry voices, demands for immediate action, calls for board resignations. The betrayal affected everyone, reduced property values, delayed legitimate improvements, destroyed community trust. Board President Marcus Whitfield resigned immediately, accepted responsibility for oversight failures, lack of financial controls, inadequate vendor verification procedures. We failed in our fiduciary duty, he admitted, trusted without verification, approved payments without proper documentation. This cannot happen again. The board implemented new financial controls, dual signature requirements, independent vendor verification, monthly financial audits, quarterly community reporting, transparency measures designed to prevent future fraud. Restitution proceedings began immediately. Stella's assets were frozen, house placed in foreclosure, personal property liquidated. The court ordered full repayment to all affected communities. I worked with Detective Taylor to assist other victims, shared investigation techniques, provided templates, helped communities document their losses. The collaborative approach strengthened all cases. Your documentation methods are exemplary, Detective Taylor said. Consider training other HOA boards. Financial oversight, fraud prevention, collection procedures. The suggestion resonated. I had discovered a community need. HOA boards lacked financial expertise, oversight training, fraud prevention knowledge. My logistics background provided relevant skills. Stella received 18 months in prison, 3 years probation, full restitution ordered. The sentence sent a clear message. HOA fraud carried serious consequences: criminal penalties, financial ruin, community shame. Riker divorced his wife before sentencing, sold the house, moved to another state, started over. The betrayal destroyed their marriage, their reputation, their future in Westridge. I should have known, he told me before leaving. The signs were obvious: expensive improvements, secretive behavior, financial stress despite steady income. The community recovered slowly. New board members elected. Financial controls implemented. Trust rebuilt through transparency. Monthly meetings. Open records. Resident involvement. Property values stabilized. Legitimate improvements resumed. Community spirit returned. The betrayal became a cautionary tale. Shared experience. Collective learning opportunity. I documented the entire process. Investigation techniques, legal procedures, recovery strategies. The information would help other communities prevent similar betrayals, protect residents from financial fraud. 12 months later, River Plaza had transformed completely. New landscaping flourished, where Stella's schemes once operated. Professional contractors. Legitimate invoices. Transparent bidding processes. The community garden she claimed to fund actually existed now. I walked the perimeter paths during evening rounds. Same route. Different purpose. No longer searching for Cephalus. Simply enjoying the restored beauty. Properly maintained irrigation systems. Native Missouri plantings. Sustainable design principles. The certification program launched in September. Ethical HOA financial management drew participants from 6 counties. Board members. Property managers. Community volunteers. Real demand existed for fraud prevention training. Your curriculum addresses critical gaps, said Margaret Chen from the Missouri HOA Institute. Financial oversight. Documentation standards. Red flag identification. These skills protect entire communities. Detective Taylor provided guest lectures. Case studies. Investigation techniques. Legal procedures. His expertise complemented my logistics background. Together we created comprehensive training materials. Stella served her sentence at Chillicothe Correctional Center. Restitution payments arrived monthly. Automated transfers. Court-supervised accounts. The money funded legitimate improvements. Playground equipment. Security lighting. Sidewalk repairs. Riker never returned to Westridge. His forwarding address led to a small apartment in Kansas City. Starting over. Rebuilding trust. Learning from painful experience. Some betrayals require complete separation. The HOA board implemented every recommended safeguard. Dual authorization requirements. Monthly financial reviews. Vendor verification procedures. Resident oversight committees. Transparency became the foundation of community governance. Property values recovered fully. New residents arrived. Young families. Retirees. Professionals seeking stable neighborhoods. The fraud scandal became distant history. Lessons learned. Systems improved. Trust restored. I received calls from other communities. Similar problems. Suspicious activities. Financial irregularities. The investigation techniques proved transferable. Documentation methods. Collection. Legal coordination procedures. Your experience saved our community, wrote David Park from Oakwood Estates. The training prevented a major embezzlement scheme. Early detection. Proper documentation. Swift legal escalation. The certification program expanded statewide. Online modules. Regional workshops. Continuing education credits. I created a certification program for ethical HOA financial management that addressed systemic vulnerabilities in community governance. Evening walks continued. Peaceful routine. Familiar paths. Restored landscapes. The betrayal left permanent lessons. Vigilance without paranoia. Trust with verification. Community strength through transparency. Children played in the renovated playground. Families gathered for community events. Neighbors collaborated on improvement projects. The social fabric had healed. Stronger than before. Tested by adversity. Reinforced by shared experience. Stella's house sold to a young couple. Teachers from the local school district. They knew the history. Chose the community anyway. Fresh start. Clean slate. New memories replacing old betrayals. The investigation files remained in my home office. Organized. Accessible. Reference materials for training programs. Of justice served. Proof that communities could recover from financial betrayal. Detective Taylor retired the following spring. 28 years of service. Hundreds of cases. Countless communities protected. His legacy continued through the training programs. Knowledge transferred. Experience preserved. River Plaza thrived. Property maintenance exceeded standards. Financial reserves grew steadily. Community events drew larger crowds. The betrayal had inadvertently strengthened neighborhood bonds. Shared adversity. Collective recovery. Mutual support. I stood on my front porch. Same view. Different perspective. The community had survived its greatest test. Emerged stronger. More vigilant. Better protected. The silence of a peaceful evening replaced the martyrdom of investigation. It was finally over, and the silence felt earned.